Spokane Storytime. Hey, were the Skywalks one of the biggest mistakes that Spokane ever made? Well, let's go find out. Skywalks originated in congested cities like Hong Kong and Tokyo to help keep pedestrians safe when they were crossing over, congested intersections. And so in 1972, the city of Minneapolis opened up the first Skywalk system here in the United States, which makes sense if you think about the city of Minneapolis, issues with snow removal and snow berms building up on the sidewalks. It allowed pedestrians to move around the city more freely and not have issues with icy sidewalks. And Spokane liked the idea so much, just 1 year later in 1973, they opened the very first Skywalk right here over Main Street so that you could eventually get over to the Bon Marché. The Skywalks were part of a project called Spokane Unlimited that was trying to restore the downtown and revitalize it in the 1960s. You see, there was an issue with competing suburban malls and what they called urban sprawl, where people were moving away from the city. So to bring people back into the city, they built the Skywalks as well as the parkade, and it really marked Spokane as a modern city heading into Expo 74. But did these Skywalks have a negative long-term impact on our city when they built all of these huge skyrise buildings? Let's find out. So the Skywalks may have had unintended consequences for street level businesses because it pulls pedestrians from the street level and has them go up to the second level, which caused an issue when they built all these big buildings right here. And so when they built the Washington Trust and the Bank of America buildings, they didn't really think about the street level. What ended up happening is they created these long blocks of nothing but glass windows, and that creates what's called an urban dead zone, and that's typically an area that's unsafe for issues with crime and drugs because there's poor lighting, and no activity because there's no retail shops. And that makes downtown Spokane a lot less attractive to live in. You got to think most of these Skywalks here are designed for people who work 9-to-5 jobs in the banks and the law firms and the insurance offices. And some cities are even removing their Skywalks and giving incentives to commercial builders and contractors to help refill some of the vacant retail slots at the street level. I know Spokane has a lot of other issues, but I do hope one day that we can have a safer, more livable downtown. I mean, we have such a beautiful city with such rich history, with the park right here in the heart of the city. I mean, what are we gonna do? Spokane has made some improvements to the look and feel of downtown. They allow grants to help uplift the facade of the front of your business if you own one. They also have tax cuts for developers who want to do mixed-use buildings that have street-level shops with residential up above. So I guess we're heading in the right direction. And you may not have noticed, but in 2018 they remodeled the original Skywalk here over Main Street, and they removed those ugly yellow clamshells that were up there, and they modernized it by putting in this new glass Skywalk. And now you know the history of the Skywalks and the impact it had long-term on Spokane.